Guys, welcome to Builds and Buffers. This is our second in-studio episode. Super pumped about it. We got Corky here. Corky is, he's got a car club, Vice. He's a family man. He runs a body shop. Before we get too deep into it, what made you a car guy?
Family. Honestly, like I said, growing up, dad, my uncles were all into old school Mopar Pro Stock dragsters. Like I said, dad had a 71
cool.
Demon,
Yeah.
Barracuda, Challenger, and so I was kind of just born into it, to say the least.
And you're a that's cool hearing that because you're a import guy, or known right now as an import guy.
Oh yeah.
How do you make? I was that too. My dad was the muscle car guy. My first car he gave me was an '87 Cutlass, souped up, ready to go. We had a '69 Firebird. I've had '79 Z28s. But I also transitioned to that import culture. Where do you think you made that muscle car flips? Imports?
I mean, I've never really been into muscle cars.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I said, I was mini trucker. You know,
Right.
had bagged S10, had two bagged S10s, a bagged Chevy Colorado.
Yeah.
That was the MO. Then it went from there to the C10 stage. I got a square body Suburban, and I'm still, like I said, still enjoy all that. There's no platform that I per se just say absolutely despise and hate.
Right.
When it comes to import cars, like I said, I bought my first EG Civic. It was already GSR swapped.
Yeah.
And doing a third gear pull on the interstate hooked me.
Hooked you.
Hooked me.
Man, I know that feeling too. It's like freaking weekend, man. I daily drive a Veloster. High mileage Veloster, but I love my car. It's fun to drive. And the freaking weekend, I had to drive that R8. And man, I just couldn't have fun in it.
Yeah.
It wasn't as fun as getting my own little car that I had built and making a pull on the interstate. There's just nothing like it. It's fun.
For sure. Yeah, like I said, from there it just snowballed. Import after import after import. Back to maybe a mini truck here and there, and then straight back into import. It's literally like, most people know me right now for my Corolla.
Right.
The VIP build Corolla.
Yeah.
Bought it as a daily. Dailied it. Still could daily it if I want to. I got a truck I daily now, but car's got 170,000 miles on it. And no one can believe that.
I love that. And all your builds are can be driven.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's such a respect in that. Okay, you go to these shows and you see the stuff that sits in the garages, but I'm a guy, I want to get in and I want to enjoy what I have.
For sure.
And even if it's sitting there and there's not an option to that, it's like, yeah, it's pretty to look at, but where's the enjoyment? You know? And if I was that guy, I would probably understand. I'm not knocking that, but it is what it is. You see it in that import culture, you seem to just enjoy the drive more.
Oh yeah.
So how did it go from, an import guy to having the club? Like, what is Vice about and why did Vice come about? So
for years, I was in a couple other clubs, and then I went years without club. Was honestly anti-club. Had a gentleman approach me when he bought my last S10 from my last bag truck I had about joining another car club. Got in with them, really started enjoying it, but then things didn't quite line up with the way we were wanting to do stuff out of our chapter, which I was running at that time. And kind of spoke with everybody, and he said, we're doing all this under somebody else's name.
Right.
We're one of the strongest chapters in the United States at this time for this club. And so we just kind of talked it out and decided, hey, we can do this on our own.
Right.
And just be us, and we have a lot more control and say-so merch and stuff like that, So that's kind of was the ultimate goal between me and about 4 guys.
What do you find that like the pros and cons are of being in a group and being that loner guy?
So nothing wrong with the loner guy. Like I said, was that for years. Made several trips to Tennessee and Atlanta to Import Alliance and different shows like that by myself. You get up there, you can still have a good time. But if I was up there by myself, of course, I have my ride or die, my wife that would go everywhere with me. Like I said, if I was up there by myself, you get up there and you get kind of lost in the shuffle. If you're with a larger group, you got somewhere to go out to eat with everybody. You all stay in the same hotel or Airbnb, and it's more that camaraderie.
Yeah, well, every meet or show becomes like a little family vacation.
Exactly.
Let's talk about the wife. So me and you are in a club outside the driving club where we're two very goofy looking guys and we got pretty wives.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yep.
we have like cool, awesome wives that go to car shows with us and do
sure.
cool things, man. Like, it's so cool to have that ride or die that does it with you. And you are a family man.
Oh, yeah.
You have how many kids?
I have 4 kids.
Okay, out of your 4 kids, this is an interesting question.
Okay.
I have 3. I'm a ride or die car guy. I've been in they've grown up in the detailing and automotive industry. They've stayed around expensive exotic cars and show trucks their whole life. You know, they got people they call uncles and aunts and family that are in magazines and SEMA people and pro football players just from the car industry. But I have a 16-year-old that kind of likes cars. I have a 14-year-old that could care less. And I have a 10-year-old that would do anything to be able to drive right now.
Oh, yeah.
As in-depth as you are with the car scene, do all your kids like cars?
No. Nope. Oldest boy, die hard.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna be just like me. He's, like I said, he's got project cars. Just got his first mini truck that we're about to start working on. He's following my footsteps.
That's
mine
cool.
first was a Colorado,
Yeah.
extended cab, '04. He got the exact same thing, just a different color. Of course, he's wanting to get all my parts for free now that I've stored over the years. Of course. But, and so we've kind of actually worked up a trade. So now I've gathered a new project from him. Like I said, and I don't want to like air all my laundry out there because I got 2 new projects that I'm working on.
That's cool.
And one of them is one I got from him. But him for sure. Like I said, he's about it. You know what I'm saying? He's still young, so he's cutting corners and doing stuff that I gripe about it. The way he runs wires, the way he does stuff. But at the end of the day, him for sure. My next youngest, which is Dash, no interest whatsoever. Right. He is a diehard. He's obsessed with like collectible like scale model trains. Yeah. My daughter,
at least it's something with wheels.
Yeah, I mean for sure. And like I said, he's on NASCAR kick right now, which is pretty cool. Like he gets pretty obsessed with some stuff. Yeah. And at one point, he was obsessed with Top Fuel funny cars, dragsters. So that was I was like, I didn't get into this, And his birthday is today. Like he actually turns 13 today. So happy birthday
to him. That's cool.
And like I said, my daughter, I'll ask her 100 times, what kind of car you want me? I don't care. Something pink.
Yeah, because it's the same way. Because I tried to make every one of my kids like you're going to be a car kid. Oh yeah, that's it. And like my daughter, she wants the Veloster, of course, but that's also just because she's 16 and her friends are like it's a cool car, and I'm like, no, if you were 40, you'd be like, why are you driving that lame car? It's a Veloster. Yep. Yeah. That's cool though, man. I love that your family's a part of it because it's just as easy to just leave them home all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And not letting, you know what I mean?
Yep. And recently, like I said, my 4-year-old, for the longest time, we'd find babysitters. Depending on the heat and the car show, we'll still work around trying to find a babysitter for him for the weekend. Yeah. But we started bringing him to a lot more. And like he's really enjoyed. He's been pleasant to bring to a car show for his age. Because my other 2 middle children, you couldn't bring them. You still can't bring them.
Yeah. My youngest, he grew up in it. Like everybody knows him at the shows. He is the poor thing's a spitting image of me. He's short and chunky. I mean, we're the same person. Oh, yeah. And but he goes around and wipes down cars with me, and that's awesome. All the customers know him and stuff. It's so cool having family. When you go to these things, do you have a favorite show?
I've been asked that question several times. Honestly, like when it comes to shows that I enjoy the most is the ones when you get there, it's kind of locked down. No one can really leave until it's over, so you pretty much can see everything, visit with the owners and stuff like that. You have pretty large shows, like the Scraping the Coast, the Battle in Bamas, where it's just so chaotic. Yeah. And you may see somebody that you've hadn't seen for years, but it's for a short period of time, and you don't even know if they're there in their car because the showground is so large. It's so large. Everybody tells me like, oh, Corky's the guy that likes to take his car to the hometown shows where his car doesn't fit in. And that's really what I enjoy doing. And
that's why I'm kind of excited. Like Finale's coming up in December, and that's a high end show, but it's scaled down. It goes through a small town and stuff. So that's gonna be a fun show. My favorite show is no longer a show as of last weekend. My favorite event I've ever been to was Slam Enough Cat. And if you are a car person, especially if you're part of import culture, we know that last weekend went terrible for us. For sure. And it wasn't all our fault, and it wasn't all Tennessee's fault, and it wasn't all Slam Enough's fault. When I experienced that show on accident in 24, we had planned a family vacation, my in-laws side of the family. And I was supposed to go to SEMA that year. And we just happened because where we originally planned lined up with SEMA, moved it up, not paying attention to what the dates were, that it slammed enough was even there. We just moved it up so that we could still make it to SEMA. And we get up there on Monday, and you start seeing more and more Stance cars. It took me till Thursday to figure out we had accidentally made our vacation during Slammed Enough. So Friday night, I'm riding up the mountain in my wife's Elantra behind 2 Skylines crying, like surreal, and then coming down the mountains with just legendary JDM cars. And it was like just this surreal car event for me. And I swore I was going to go back this year. Now I'm glad I didn't.
Yep.
But everybody's seen the videos, and they know what's happened. And Jimmy's Market was the spot in 24. It looked like, Fast and Furious out there. It's a cliche way to compare it, but it is what it is. It was, you couldn't go down the strip, and these were high quality builds. People weren't acting a fool, but after going there, and I've only been there 1 year. I wasn't even there on purpose, so I can only speak on it so much. But Monday, you automatically started seeing all these people post that they had blocked off every parking lot up there. The thing about Slammed Enough in Gatlinburg was it was just a week long, pretty much. The show was only on the weekend, but you come there the whole week, and it was a week of car meets. Mm-hmm. Most of these people just, you just sat and chilled in a parking lot. And there's the Brick Lot and the Island and Jimmy's was 3 of these well-known spots where you take all that away and you force thousands of cars onto an already tourist busy place.
Yep.
Where do they go? There was nowhere to park. There was nowhere to hang out. They were shutting down all the meets. You couldn't drive down the road without getting a ticket. So by the time you get to Saturday, everybody's had a bad time. Nobody's been able to chill and enjoy the cars. And, when you go up there, the show was, the smallest part of this event.
Sure. Typically that's
stretched for miles.
Past 4 years. Yeah. The show, you don't really even go for the show. You go for what's going on throughout the week, the night meets and stuff like that, for sure.
And now you have people like real car enthusiasts that wanted to go up there and do it for the scenery and the people and the community and just being where it is. There's a peacefulness to that show that, as chaotic as it is, you just can relax. And, next thing you know, they're taking down the barriers and jumping on gas pumps. And then you have takeover culture.
It turned into chaos.
Why do you think the import scene got stuck with the takeover culture? Like, they're different people. I mean, if that's how you have fun, go out and have fun. Mm-hmm. Stop ruining things for people.
For sure.
Stop, tearing shit up everywhere you go when you do it. Like, there's ways to do that better, and the way they did it at Slammed Enough was not the way to handle that.
For sure. Like I said, when it comes to takeover culture, the guys closing down intersections in the middle of stoplights, doing donuts and stuff like that. Like, I'll go ahead and tell you, no car scene, whether it be trucks, lowriders, import car scene, any of that condones any of that. I'll speak for everybody on that. I'll go ahead and tell you that. Yeah. What you run into is, you got these people, and there are places you can do that. There are places with burn yards, just drift tracks where you can go out there and do your crazy donuts and everything like that. Like I said, we have drifters in our club. Mm-hmm. They do it in a controlled environment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like everything's legal. Their cars respect everything like that. So there's no harmful things that could happen. No intersections of innocent bystanders or anything like that. What you run into is typically younger kids. Mm-hmm. In a souped up car, and it may not be a factory car. It may be, just a car that's got some oomph to it from the factory, and they don't want to go through the ability to get on these tracks.
Right.
They want to just do it where they can and where they will for as less money as possible.
Right.
And that's what turns into what that is, in my opinion. Now, like I said, it may be something completely different if you ask them guys.
I imagine there's a rush to it. Like, I imagine there's an adrenaline high when you're in the middle of an intersection that's blocked off acting rowdy. Like, I can't take that. It looks like fun. But when it starts affecting things, like, and here's the thing. you can completely. They're gonna say, "Oh, they wasn't doing donuts and stuff at Jimmy's." That was still a takeover. I don't care how you map it. Them cars surrounded that place. Those people surrounded that place, and they said, "You're gonna tell us we can't be here. We're gonna show you that we're going to be."
Yep.
You know, and then the bike burnouts start in the middle of it, and then they shut down the strip and are racing Lambos down the strip.
Yep.
In what world? Now, and I'm telling you, that is awesome. That is so cool. I watched it. I mean, it's
almost from a movie.
Yeah, it was like from a movie. But what about the rest of us that just wanted it to be what it was?
Yep.
You know, and it's, as a person that is a vendor at all these shows, I just think about the people that got shut down on Sunday.
Oh yeah.
You know, and the promoters of Slam Enough, it's just like Tripp said about freaking. And every promoter will tell you this. Even with, like, when we start doing, we'll see it with the small meets and stuff we do here. You can only control
for sure
what's inside your parking lot.
For sure.
You know, but when they rip out of here and do a burnout and start acting a fool leaving out of here, they're coming to you, the promoter, the person that put the show on, the person whose name's on it. And then we get shut down. You know, we could say all you want to, don't act that way. Somebody's always going to be that person. For
sure. Like I said, you can't control everybody.
Right.
You know, and like I said, not everybody has the same respect as the person sitting next to you or behind you or in front of you.
Yeah. And you see it in another way, just like scraping. Scraping the coast was something that, you know, anybody like us in the custom car culture looked forward to every year. And it wasn't just the show. It was that getting on the strip and cruising was the best part of it for most people.
For sure.
And not to send everybody out, well, I guess I am. Squatted trucks took scraping and ruined it. This year at scraping was like, you know, you couldn't cruise. You didn't see custom cars other than the show. It had lost its essence. And they maybe had done one of the best shows itself they've ever done.
For sure.
But it had lost it's the heartbeat of it, you know, outside the Coliseum.
And I say it gets, you know, because, you know, of course, you know, you got Biloxi PD and everybody doing what it takes to handle the situation. So, you know, they block off everything. That makes it to where it's almost not even enjoyable to try to cruise.
Right. And you can't and you can't deny the age gap makes a difference. I don't know what the statistics are or why, or if it's just because of immature or what it is, but look at cruising right now.
For sure.
This looks like one of the best cruisings in years.
Yep.
If you look at the pictures and the people doing it right now, there are more cars than we've seen in years over there. Nicer cars. There was one wreck the other night at the race. Praying for Gary. But other than that, it seemed to be a nice event. They were doing autocross and everything over there this week.
Yep. And like I said, unpopular opinion from me is, you know, I understand everybody upset about the Slammed Enough. It's getting canceled. And I'm sure they're going to do a workaround and probably have another show that's just as big next year.
Right.
No doubt. Respect the guys to the fullest. I've attended more than, like, I've never attended GAT, but I've attended, you know, Stupid Cold. In 2012 was my first year of being part of the showcase. 2011 went with a best friend. Told me, said, hey, I'm going to be here next year. And I worked my butt off to get there.
Right.
Got there, achieved that. And like I said, again, I went this year, won my first ever award at the same show at Stupid Cold for Slammed Enough, which was pretty proud about that. Went to Destin several times. And I said, love the shows, enjoy it. However, a lot of people are getting so upset that it's getting canceled. And I understand it was their biggest thing. But you and me both know there's 1,000 shows a year.
I know.
You know what I'm
it's
saying?
like
there's 1,000 shows a year. Like we can definitely turn Gatlinburg into, you know, freaking weekend. We can turn that to another show.
Right.
You know?
It's there for the taking too. Will you have to? Whoever does it is going to have to rebuild a trust, and
for sure.
You know, Severville and Blount County and everybody is going to have to trust. But you have the Rod Run up there and Jeep Invasion that people love because, but go take all their parking and spots to hang out away and see how that goes.
For sure.
That's reality.
Any way about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way around that. The show was picked on from day one. It was treated different than any other show, and there were repercussions from that. They weren't done the right way, but it is what it is. I hope there's some kind of light at the end of the tunnel. And I hope it doesn't butterfly effect out from Slammed Enough where it's, our daytime, you don't know. It's like, do they show up at the next Slammed Enough and act a fool to show we're going to do what we want to? Or is it we show up and act as we should so that it can grow and be what it's supposed to be? All that stress. Anyway, like Corky just said, he's going to start Slamming Enough up there in 2025.
No.
Let's talk about the Corolla a little bit.
Okay.
So this is a wild build. It's different. It's a VIP Corolla. It's got a lot done to it. When you build a car like that, is it ever finished?
Oh no! I mean, it's in the shop right now getting some exhaust work done on it. So
it never stops. Every time I talk to you, that car's been worked on.
Oh yeah, I mean,
every
that's
time.
the goal. We can't keep it still for too long.
Yeah. So, and you got new projects, you said, and then your wife has a Corolla. The Mercedes is in the family, right?
Mercedes is gone, traded off.
Gone.
Yeah, that's what got the Colorado.
Okay.
Now. Yep.
So, at what point does it go? Oh, I'm gonna stop with the Corolla. It's time to build something else.
Oh, it's a hard ball to juggle.
Yeah,
and a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah.
It's like, my buddy Michael is in our club with the Skyline. He tells me all the time, he says, I love the Corolla. But now that you started the Civic, he says, I like seeing the Civic more because you're always steadily adding stuff to it.
Right,
Like you used to do the
always
Corolla.
changes.
Because, the Corolla's to a point where it's like, what's next? What's next? So it's, right now I got a bunch of small stuff I'm trying to do to it, which you may not even notice until you get up close on it and notice it, which is the
it's not even Corollas. You open the door and, you got trays with cuts of ice.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the car is it's so cool to walk around. Even if you're not an import guy, you walk around it, it's to be appreciated.
Oh, yeah.
It pulled up in scraping this year, and we had not even shook hands, like met in person yet. And that was the first car I walked around. It had a snail on it. Yeah, just chilling. So that was cool. But seeing Vice, y'all rolling deep, man. And y'all have such nice builds too. And the Corolla kind of sets the tone.
Yeah.
But I respect it. I never thought, you see a car like that and you're like, oh, that's wild. I don't like that because I like simple stuff. But the more I got around the car, the more and more I'm like, man, I want to build something crazy.
Yeah.
Corky, you want to build me a car?
Yeah. And like I said, the car wouldn't be what it is without me being in a club with Michael, Arliss, AJ, and Cameron, which are like our people that started Vice.
Yeah.
I said we were in the other car club and keying off each other, trying to one up one another. Boom, boom, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. Oh, I got 3-piece wheels. Well, you know what? We're all going to do 3-piece wheels. It just totally snowballed.
Yeah, and it's cool to have that brotherhood like
and
that.
And then you got 4 or 5 of the baddest cars on the coast.
Yeah.
And people see that and they want to be a part of it. And then whenever they hang out with us, it ain't even the fact that, hey, they got cool cars. These guys are fun to be around.
Me and you have in common that we're trying to chase that gap of you got your cars and coffee guys, your import scene, your meat guys, and then you have the show guys. And we appreciate the show part of it too. We want and Vice shows up. And with a large import, will always be kind of like Vice is a staple of these shows. Why do you think that gap's there? Why do you think you don't see those cars and coffee type import numbers showing up at these shows?
Like I said, I've kind of wondered the same thing over the years because, like I said, I started off with mini trucks, and that's the show. You go to the show in a mini truck.
Right.
Cars and coffee, they're out there, but they're not like the import car scene is. I think a lot of it is the import scene just sees a car show as why do I need to go here and pay to hang out with my friends?
Right.
Maybe win a trophy. But, like it runs into a thing to where on the coast, most of the stuff we go to is truck shows.
Right.
We stand out from that because we're in a bunch of clean imports, but we're not trucks.
Right.
And, you got a bunch of these guys that don't see it that way. And, and we're trying to really open up because we got those guys in our club that don't want to go to a show, or they'll go to a show, park in the parking garage and walk and hang out with us. I'm like, man, you don't get the experience unless you're in here.
Yeah.
Like, because you got photographers, videographers, you got show promoters, you got people throwing flyers in your car, people coming up to you wanting to wash your car, Yeah,
you get to like, okay, Freaking Weekend was the first show my Veloster sat in. My car is not anything special. It's high mileage. It's my daily, but people like it. And I sat it there just to have it closed. So it was cool because people started coming by and was like, oh, that's cool for and it was my first time experiencing that end of it. It's and nobody pulled in there for trophies, on our end, and we took some home in the booth. But you're right about there being an experience that if you drive a custom car just one time, put in the show and experience.
Put in the show, yeah. Like I said, just to get a little feedback. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's what I tell everybody, because I still have an 88 Honda Civic wagon on air, done up. I got to a point where I'm going to win anything. I'm going to enter the show and not get it judged.
Right.
So I did that for years, and then I look back and I'm like, well, I never won an award at Scraping the Coast. And it's probably just because I didn't take the 10 seconds to pull it to a judging line and let people walk around it. So now I get my guys that get in that mentality. It was like, well, I'm not going to win anything. I was like, well, you don't know that.
Right.
You don't know that. You need to drive through judging. Tell them everything that's done in the car. These guys, 9 times out of 10, aren't import car guys. So you can open up their eyes to saying, hey, there's a lot of stuff done in this car that they don't realize is done to that car.
Right. And I think you're seeing more respect for the imports at the shows. You definitely hear a lot more talk. Like Craig would battle and Finale, and any of your promoters, you get a common, how do we get the imports here? What can we do to build an import following? Like Battle is a perfect spot to have an import section. Yeah. It's there's so much, there's autocross going on there, and it's just the venue. I think if somebody figures out that niche or that gap, there's a real revitalization of car culture in there. To just bring everybody together. Are you planning on having, where do you see Vice growing, and do you planning on doing more like Vice meets and shows? And
like I said, for years, me and a handful of my buddies have done a little camping thing at my house. I got 6 acres of pond. Like I said, we pull our cars in my backyard and we walk 2 acres out to the pond, post up tents, beer pong, games. Like I said, we do that every year in November. This year is the Saturday after Black Friday. Nice. That's kind of our staple right now, but it really isn't a meet. It's just invite only, kind of a house party type deal. Yeah. And this year will be the first time, because like I said, that we're actually Vice doing it, because last year was an old car club. Had about 40 people last year, like I said, me and my wife cook for everybody. This year we're actually doing member recognition. And we actually are doing it off of surveys, so you win your awards off of your peers' votes.
That's cool.
From our own club.
That's super cool. And Defiant annually does something like that, out of their place.
They went to. I actually had 2 guys go to their show.
We
both
won
won awards.
So that's cool. I think your people that see Vice at the show automatically just find it to be cool. The club has a vibe and an energy that's just super cool. I've always liked it. Y'all's merch is super dope, and I love what you're doing with it. I want to see it, really grow to be a huge group.
So we're in 3 states. Most of us are in Mississippi, where we're originally based out of. We've got a couple members out of Louisiana, which we had met through prior clubs and are good friends with. And then we have a couple in South Alabama and a couple in Florida.
Where did the name come from?
It's our Vice, man. That's what we do to keep from getting in trouble.
Yeah.
Like I said, when we first talked about doing this, before we presented it to everybody, me and the other 4 guys were like, we gotta have a name, and we have to be dead set on this name, because if you throw it out in a group without a name, it's not gonna happen.
Right.
So like I said, we went through 40 different names, and then we'd make designs on is this gonna look good? Is this gonna look good? And then we always wanted just a 1-word name, and we wanted it short and sweet.
Right. I like the versatility of your club too. When you see it, there's something so. If you're real about it, the import scene has clicks, just like everything else. And then you have your VIPs, and then you have your guys that just like to cruise, and you got your ones that want to go fast, and then you have Mustangs. We have Mustangs. Different everything. We have Mustangs. But what do you say to people when you the amount of people that when you're in a meet or something pull up that Veloster, and they're like, oh, you want to race? Because that's obviously one of the slowest cars ever.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't race a golf cart.
Oh, yeah. I drive a Civic with a wing.
Yeah, you got a Civic with a wing, and you got the Corolla. How do you respond to those people where they're like, oh, it sucks to go slow?
Like I said, I've never had. I know
like,
my
I'm
cars.
riding on
I know,
the
I
air,
know my
bud.
cars are slow. You
Yeah.
know? And like I said, we pull up to a stoplight and they're revving. I'll usually air it down and be like, "That's all I got."
Yeah,
You know?
that's it,
all I
bro.
got. It's cool looking. It's cool looking.
Yeah.
It ain't fast. You know,
Yeah.
like I said, they do what I need them to do. And now, like I got guys. You know, Mike with the Skyline, AJ with the Evo. You know, and other members in the club that they have built engines, and if they want to get rowdy, they're going to get rowdy.
Right.
Simple as that. You know what I'm
that
saying?
Skyline is a special one. AJ's Evo.
Yep.
Man, I've watched him build that car for years.
Oh yeah. Like I said, he since being in the club with us, he put it on air and went our route with it a little bit,
Yeah.
but it's still
And these are-
something you don't want to mess with.
These are cars too that these guys stand on. Like, their cars are nice enough that they don't have to be part of a group.
Yep.
They could go and
sure.
really show out. With their builds and what they have. So there's a humbleness in that too.
Yeah, and like with our group, everybody goes, "Well, what do you allow and what do you not allow?" So we allow everything.
Yeah.
It just seems to be the staple right now that comes to us, mostly import cars, which that's what we are typically.
Mm-hmm.
We do have a Tacoma in the group. We have one loaner truck.
Yeah. I like the little Tacoma.
We got the Tacoma. He's a photographer. He comes on everything, does the aerial stuff. That's
Yeah.
kind of our in-house photographer, I
Yeah,
guess you'd
that's
say.
cool.
Like I said, great guy.
I got one too. It's Chris.
Years.
He's over there.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I met him, 10 years ago, totaling his 350Z at my old shop.
Oh, nice. Nice.
So weird way
and
to-
that's what you do. You do paint and body.
Yep, paint and body. Like I said,
Could you see yourself being the guy you are and not working in the automotive industry? I could not. I could not do anything that doesn't have me around cars on a daily basis.
well, I worked construction for a long time, and that was away from cars. And sometimes, you get those, cars are my niche. Like I said, loved cars all my life. So the fact that I get to work around cars, it makes my job a little pretty enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
But you also got those times where you get home and you're like, man, I've been messing with cars all day. I don't want to mess with my car. That's the only time where I'm like, I need to do something different.
Yeah,
But I'm not going to do anything different.
Right.
I love my job, and like I said, and I just make time for my cars.
Right. I used to love detailing my own car until I detailed everybody else's.
Yeah, for sure.
My car probably gets neglected more than just over the fact of,
That's what they say. The electrician ain't got a power socket in his house that works, and the AC man's sitting in the heat.
my father's been a stucco contractor for 50 years and lives in a brick house. Like, it's
you go.
just
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
It just is what it is. Like, I've been in the detailing industry for 12 years, and my wife's car is one of the dirtiest in this parking lot. So, I mean, it's just life is life. That's okay, because we get to talk about it. For
sure.
We get to be those people that sit here and just talk about what we wish we could do and don't do it. It's kind of sad. No.
Yeah.
Man, I'm glad you come and sat down and talked to me. I've been looking forward to this, and definitely after Slam Enough to Happen, man. I've been, it's sad. You go to something like that and you experience it, and then you just see it get kind of snatched out from under you like that. It is what it is. I was looking forward to 26, but just got to go and find another show that offers that experience.
For sure. And, like I said, to each his own. Like, you can make that experience at any show you go to.
Yep. So what's y'all's next show?
We're doing a little local one here in Saraland at the church. I can't remember the exact name off of the top of my head. I said October 26th, I believe it was. I said got a bunch of us going there. We actually even paid for a sponsorship, so our name will be on the best air cooled trophy.
Yeah,
and, like I said, and we'll also have they're basically providing us with a big banner with our name printed on it and everything, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
so,
I love some air cooled stuff.
Like I said, after that, we have a couple guys going to Low and Clean in Pensacola in November.
It's a good show.
And then, like I said, went last year. Going to try to make it this year because the weekend after that is our camping event, which I do a lot of prep on my property before that. So and then grand finale after that, and that kind of finishes out our year.
Yeah, and then we get to start all over again.
That's right.
But hey, there's some big things happening in 26. I think that's gonna be a show season for the books for sure.
I'm looking forward to it.
For sure. Yep.
I said, I know all my guys. You got certain ones that may only make one or two shows a year, but I got guys that make everything that I make.
Yeah,
and more. So,
all right. And one more question. This is kind of the I gotta know. I ask everybody this. No money on the table, like you can do whatever you want to. What's the dream build?
Man, that's a tough one.
You can do three, top three, because I couldn't pick one.
Top three. All right, number three, I'd want a truck, and I want a mid '80s model C10 GSI chassis, everything, step side. Shout out James McCool, because I know you're building one right now, and I'm super jealous. LS swaps and everything. After that, like I said, import car wise, man, FD RX-7's always got a place in my heart.
Yeah.
Always, like I said, loved them for years. First car I ever had was an 81 RX-7. Regret ever getting rid of it. But here we are now, dreaming of the newer version. Last but not least, man, Honda guy, NSX.
Man. So there's a new one in town. Have you seen the black one?
I've not.
That just got local. I'll find some pictures of it and show you, but he's over in West Mobile. It's black and got bronze wheels on it. And so RX-7, I love RX-7. I'll just comment on those real quick. And of course, I didn't know what FD was until I saw Fast Furious. I was a Fast Furious kid. That's how I was introduced to the import world. That was there's been twice in my life that I've found two of those in driveways.
Yep.
Buyable, and had no idea what I was looking at and left them. And one was white, and it was next door to the detail I was doing. The guy offered, telling me he'd sell it and everything, and I was like, it's just a little car.
Yep.
And another one was a black one that sat over West Mobile for years. Guy worked for the news channel. And both of them at this point, I went and looked. Now I know what they are. They're gone. But you can't see them anymore. But I used to, just be sitting in driveways here and there. That's a car that I will say is probably gonna run from me the rest of my life. I think because I had the opportunity to get one, and didn't.
Now
take
it's a curse at that point. Yep.
Yeah, and I've messed up. Like I grew up the 4-wheel drive kid, and the muscle car kid, and my dad had hunting trucks or drag cars, and I had an 81 Prelude that I sold. My cousin has a 87 Celica Supra, two of them that I had an opportunity to buy before I called him and said, hey, there's this car. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So you let them slip through your fingers. But luckily, we're about to figure it out. We're going to get rich, and we're going to have garages full of all the builds we want. Yeah.
I just want a big garage. Like I said, I got enough cars to fill them.
No, I just want a big garage with one car in it. Well, nice enough car. I'll take one car in a big garage. Yep.
No super cars though.
Yeah. All right, you plan on going to cruising?
I got Sandra, one of our new members, bagged Corolla like mine, blue from across the bay. Like everybody knows that car too. So now I'm competing kind of versus myself in my own club now. But she's got a place at the White House Hotel.
Is that the brighter blue one? What color wheels are on that car?
Purple.
That's what I was about to ask. Purple wheels. Yeah, I know that car.
Yep, she's one of our newest prospects.
I love our culture, man, because I would have had no idea who that was, but just because you said black blue, I mean, it's just cool.
Killer person, like I said, you're not gonna find a better person than her. She's awesome, but she's got to invite us, basically say, hey, come to the White House Hotel. They don't check parking passes and stuff. You can hang out with us, and so we're gonna go over there on Saturday.
That's
for a
cool.
little while.
Awesome, man. I think we might ride over. I don't know yet. And I can't decide if I want to go over and cruise, if I want to go over with my professional face on, talk business. And we might let the podcast set up and take it all over there. But man, I appreciate the conversation. This will not be the last time we do this. But yeah, man, I'm glad that we met, become friends. Glad we get to go to these shows together and do fun things. And man, I want to see Vice flourish and you flourish and it all keep going where it's going, buddy.
Likewise, for sure.
Yeah, man. All right. Thank you for being here.
Yes, sir.